Hey guys, wanted to do a video on feeding my corals. The main things I feed my coral is the Reef Roids, Polyp Lab Reef Roids. I do the Polyp Lab Polyp Booster Reef Roids combo. I put the Polyp Booster in first, obviously per the directions. They say give it 30 to 60 seconds before you use the Reef Roids. I give it 5 to 10 minutes. So here's the Polyp Booster. I put in 1 1/4 to 1.5 milliliters per 40 for the 45 gallons of tank water I have. They recommend 1 milliliter per 60 gallons of water, but I changed that up a little bit just because of my stock level in the tank. I have a heavier stock tank, lots of corals to feed here. So I adjust a little bit for that. And as you can see here, I will do 3 doses. Sometimes it's 2, it depends on how much I pull up in the little tube there. So that first one's about a little over half. The next one's about half, and then I do a little bit more to give me right in between, right around 1 1/4 to 1.5 milliliters of Polyp Booster going into the water. And I'm gonna let that cycle with the flow for 5 to 10 minutes while I feed fish, things like that. And then I will shut off the flow and feed the Reef Roids. So here's the Reef Roids. I do 1 teaspoon to 2 teaspoons of tank water. That's my mix. The instructions on the Reef Roids are going to tell you 1 teaspoon for 100 gallons of water, and I've got a 45-gallon tank. But again, for me, it is about how heavy stocked is the tank and how many mouths do I have to feed in there. And this one has a lot of corals in there, lots of different individual heads to feed. So you can see me putting in the Reef Roids and then the 1 teaspoon of Reef Roids, and I'll put in 2 teaspoons of tank water. I'll stir that up and then I'll set it aside for 5 to 10 minutes while I feed the fish and let that Polyp Booster get dispersed well in the tank. Then I'll shut off all the flow and start feeding the corals. You're gonna see here, I constantly mix that up every time before I draw up my some of the solution to feed. I do direct feed everything. I don't broadcast feed. And you're gonna see on many of these here, as I feed, there's an instant reaction. You'll be able to see it here on this first hammer. You can see it on a lot of the LPS, especially when I get to the torches. The torches are a pretty dramatic reaction when I put it on there. They pull it in, they close up real quickly. So you're gonna see response from many different corals here. And again, this is the main feeding I do for my corals. You'll also see that I do feed my SPS. So you'll see me feed my branching Monty, my Monty Cap, maybe my Acro. I got, a few different SPS in there. I'm not sure all the ones that I put in the video, but I do direct feed them as well. I just put a little bit over them and let it kind of fall down on them. I believe they get some nutrition out of it. You can see a change to their polyp color, kind of their polyps pulling in as well. After it sat there a little bit. So I do believe there is benefit to feeding my SPS and not just my LPS and softies. So I feed everything, and you're going to see a lot of that here in this video. So give me a like, give me a subscribe, check out the coral feeding and the response, and I'll get more content out soon. Thanks, guys.